Arctic cold weather blast. That's what we're all dealing with right now. And while some parts of the country are far colder than we are, it's cold here. So in Maryland, it was around 10 degrees last night, 12 degrees last night. Right now it's in the upper teens. And it's cold. Lake hasn't frozen yet because there's been so much chop. But I think that'll happen. Actually, it probably won't happen this week because it's supposed to warm up. But it is super, super cold. Last night in my shop here, I had an electric heater on to try to keep things just a little above freezing. And for the lines on my CNC, there has been a little bit of a surface freeze because I can feel it crunch a little bit. It's not rock solid, so it's a little bit of a freeze. I've got this thing on right now, and I'm sure that was cranking all night. Outside, well, right now it's in about 20 degrees. That little meter outside is in the sun, so that might be raising it up a little bit. I'm sure it is. And right now in here it's about 31. For today, I bought one of these diesel heaters and it was delivered a couple days ago. I threw this shelf together real fast with some scrap, and this is just sitting here right now. I've never had one of these before. I wanted to get one for in the shop here as well as for the rooftop tent, which I've got another video on the other day when we did that unboxing. So for a little bit of colder weather camping, I wanted to have the diesel heater. But again, because it gets so cold in here, I wanted to have the option for heating up the shop. As long as we've got juice, and fortunately nothing dropped out last night, even with all the wind, but as long as we've got power in here, it doesn't seem to make sense to try to run this thing off of a battery. Could use the Jackery if I wanted to, and for camping that's what we'll do. But for in here, I've got that guy, and we're going to see if we can hook it up to that. Put some fuel in here and fire this up. Needless to say, the instructions are lacking, which is pretty par for the course. There's a lot of guys, a lot of folks on YouTube that have done similar heaters, so I'm taking most of my information from that. So I'm going to put some fuel in here. We're going to run this exhaust out the window, try to cover up the opening a little bit, and see what we can do. So this is what we've got here. It is really cold out here, so hopefully this will help out a little bit. I put some extra wire here to hold down the fuel line because the fuel line was getting close to and touching the exhaust pipe here, and I didn't like that. There's the hole here to run it out the back, and we're going to run that out the window. It would be nice if this was arranged differently with the exhaust in the back, but that's the way these things come. We've got our air intake here, which we'll just scoop around to the other side. And there's no gas in here right now, or at least no diesel. So we're going to load that up, stick this out the window, and turn it on. And this is just a down and dirty video of connecting this up and turning it on. And as mentioned before, I've never had one of these. So I've skimmed the instruction manual, but again, not a lot of detail in there. So basically I just gassed it up, connected it up, turned it all on, and played around with some of the buttons, which is what a lot of folks do. I don't know the full parameters of this. There are a lot of extra settings in there that we'll figure out. This is blowing a lot of hot air, and I just pumped this up to 10 with the little remote here as far as the fan speed, and we're getting lots of air out of that. I did put a carbon monoxide detector in here just to kind of cover my bases. There's the exhaust pipe, and I can see lots of heat waves coming off of that. We've got our air intake down here, and wow, that is hot air coming out of there. .206, 213, 202. So it's, this is Fahrenheit, of course, be crazy Celsius. So that is a lot of heat. I've got to figure out what all the readout stuff here means. I think SLP, I don't know if that means sleep or if that's some different settings or something. I just don't know yet. As far as the temperature in here, we're up to 35 degrees. It started out around 31 or 32, and I just turned this on maybe 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago. The thermometer, of course, is way over here. Heater's way over there, and there is zero insulation in this building. So we'll let this run for a little while and then see where we are. As far as the diesel fuel, I filled it up about halfway, so we're right there right now. The pump is a little bit loud when it first starts, and right now with this fan speed you really can't hear the clicking, but when you slow the fan speed down you can. And there may be higher settings for that fan, I just don't know yet. But that is a lot of heat coming out of there. Ouch, that'll almost burn your hand. So we'll see. And again, this was $105 on eBay. Took about a week to get here. I don't know if the video is picking it up. Hear a little bit of the tick, 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 tick for the fan. So we'll see how it goes. We've been running for about 25 minutes or so. It was around 3 o'clock, a little bit after 3, when we really cranked this thing up. So 18 feet away, 20 feet away on this outside wall, we've gone up to 40 degrees for the inside temperature. The cool thing about French cleats is you can move this stuff all over the place. So let's put this guy over here. Just leave that up there for a little bit and check on that shortly. And now we're about 4 o'clock. Definitely feels warmer inside. We're about 46, 47 degrees at this point. And that's a workable temperature. It's still chilly, but that's manageable. And I have a feeling if this was left on for a lot longer, we'd probably get into the mid-50s. There may be some extra settings on here that I could change as well. There may be some higher settings on the fan, I'm not sure. But as far as making it workable in the shop, it doesn't usually get down into the 20s and teens where we are. So I think this will help a lot in here, and as far as camping goes, I think it'll be fantastic for that little rooftop tent. That should really keep that warm. So we'll clean up the installation later on, try to neaten things up a little bit, and go from there. And that remote is really cool too. So sweet. Alright, I'm going to shut this thing down, head in the house, and turn on a football game. Thanks very much for taking a look.